Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today is something a little different. I am participating in the This or That tag. I was actually tagged for this by Kirsty Colour and Sketch, but the tag itself was created by Michaela Renee. Hopefully I said that right. I was not subscribed to her, but I did find her through this tag once Kirsty had tagged me. And she's got a bunch of cute stuff on her channel, so I'm going to leave a link in the description below, that way you can check her out. And then Kirsty tagged me a few days ago, and I've been sitting here pondering on the questions, but I think I'm ready to answer. It's so hard when it's those tags that make you choose. I'm not good at making decisions. So we'll dive in, but instead of making you guys, just stare at my craft mat, I thought I would keep working on this page. It is from Hannah Lynn's Victorian Darlings. This is one of the first books of hers. I've removed the spine. And it's kind of nice because now I don't have the book in my way, so I can move the paper around. And I've been working on this stonework background. It's taking forever. So I thought that was the perfect way to distract myself while I work on this background that is never ending. And give you guys something to watch. And then I'll answer all the tag questions. So let me get this sideways, actually. And in case you're curious, I'm doing this with Black Widows. So the bricks or stonework, I am using charcoal CB69. So that's from the Cobra set. And let me get them up there closer. Spiderweb BW16. And then dark gray MN109. So one from each of the sets to make that easy. And then like the grout, or I guess it's mortar, or is it grout? I don't know. Whatever you want to call it is from the Monarch set. It's light gray MN048. These are all kind of like a warm gray tone. But alright, let's dive into this never-ending stonework and answer some questions. So, question 1 is alcohol markers or water-based markers? So this one was really easy for me to answer. Move this down a little. Because it's totally alcohol-based. I really like alcohol markers. I only discovered them I can't say this year, 2020, near the end of 2020. When I first got my first Ohuhu set, that's when I kind of discovered these, and I really like alcohol markers. I have a few Copics, and I'm working on buying all the Copics. But yeah, I've tried water-based, so I've tried like the Arteza water brushes and Twee markers and a few other water-based type markers, and I don't like them. I like the alcohol ones because you can blend and layer. They don't tear up your paper. Like, you don't have to use watercolor paper. I mean, I use alcohol markers right off this Create Space paper in Hannah Lynn books. So yeah, definitely alcohol markers. I just feel they're easier to work with, and I'm just not a fan of the water-based at all. Okay, question 2. Jade Summer Grayscale or Jade Summer Line Art? So I have not bought a Jade Summer Grayscale book, so that was kind of hard, but it's not because I don't want them. My biggest issue with Jade Summer is the Create Space paper. I say that as I'm coloring in a Hannah Lynn book, which is also on the Create Space paper, but hers are just too adorable to resist. So I have a bunch of line art ones from Jade Summer, and to be honest, they're very, very basic. They're super bulky, but they work great for alcohol markers, so I like them for that. But in all honesty, I think I would rather do their grayscale. They're more artistic, the artwork is, and it doesn't feel like it's computer generated from what I've seen of the books. So I actually have a few I'm planning on buying, and considering I have only line art from them right now, I think I would rather have the grayscale. I barely color in any of the line art ones I have from them because I'm not that impressed with them. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the grayscale just because I plan to purchase some, and the line art ones are literally just collecting dust on my bookshelf. I think the only line art one that I really dug, besides their mandala books, was that Cute Witches one for Halloween. Other than that, I've like flipped through after I bought them, and I'm like, ugh, why did I buy these? Such a waste of my money. So yeah, I would say grayscale. All right, number 3, Prismas or polys. Okay, that one was easy to answer. Prismacolors. I love Prismacolors. I buy so many Prismacolors per month to restock because I go through them. Yeah, hands down Prismacolor all the way. I do love polychromos. I have polychromos, but I don't use them anywhere near the frequency of my Prismacolors. I think I've only had to replace one polychromos pencil, so that tells you how often they're used. Let's see. Okay, so question 4, Hannah Carlson or Maria Troll? I only just now started getting into Maria Troll books. I had bought one a long time ago, and it just sat there collecting dust. And so for the 10 books to finish tag, I actually had picked one of her books to do this year. So I finally dove in, and it's not bad, but if you're going to make me choose between her books and Hannah Carlson, then it's definitely going to be Hannah Carlson. I just really like her artwork and her style a lot more. It almost looks like this one doesn't have a line there. All right. Number 5, color by number or non-color by number? Definitely a non-color by number. I'm not a big color by number book fan, only because I get this itching desire to use shading. And I know like they'll have like a dark blue and then a light blue, so it creates a shade, but it's still not the same. So yeah, I have a really hard time using color by number books. They're great. I have a few like color by number mandala ones that are easier for me to do because I use markers and stuff like that. But the other ones where you have to use like, that are more artsy and you want to use your pencils, I just can't color a flat color. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely say non-color by number on that one. All right, number 6, mandalas or patterns. Okay, so that one, I mean, anyone who's watched my channel already knows the answer to that. It's mandalas, hands down. So don't even need to explain that one, because if you watched me long enough, you know. But let's see, number 7, double-sided or single-sided books. That's actually a really good question, because there's some of my favorite books are double-sided, but I really wish they weren't, because then I could use alcohol markers or, just do a little more with them. The only way I can use like mediums that bleed through is I'd have to scan it, like my Hannah Carlson and Clara Markova books. I'd love to do one of those in Copic markers, but I need to scan it and print it out, which means it won't be part of the book itself. So like if I were to do a finished book, that page wouldn't really be in the book. So I wish some of those more artsy ones were single-sided, just so I could do stuff like that. But I mean, double-sided isn't like a deal breaker. So I guess I didn't really decide on that one, did I? All right, well, I'm gonna say single-sided. All right, number 8, single page spreads or double page spreads. That was another one that I had to really think on, and I still kind of iffy. I love single page spreads, but that's just because my attention span on larger projects kind of gets lost sometimes, or I'm like, oh, I really want to move on to another page. So it kind of depends, right? Like, are we talking a Kirby Roseanne's double page spread, because that gives me a panic attack, or are we talking like a Hannah Carlson one where it's not quite as tedious? So really, I would have to say my answer depends on the artist. Because if you're talking like Kirby Roseanne's, I can't even finish a single page. Like his double page ones, I look at those and I'm just like, yeah, no. Just too much, too much. But Hannah Carlson, I can usually do. But even then, it's like I have to really be in the mood to commit to 2 whole pages of the same color scheme and everything. So it depends on the complexity of the page and the book. I know that's not like the world's most straightforward answer, but that's the best I got for you. So yeah, I guess it would just depend on the artist and the book. Like these Hannah Lynn ones, I actually wouldn't mind if Hannah Lynn had double page spreads because hers are pretty easy to knock out. They're not overwhelming and they're cute and fun. So like a double page spread from her would be pretty fun actually to do. But yeah, like Kirby Roseanne's, no. I have so many of his books with those and I'm just like, yeah, one day, maybe. Maybe not. All right. So, question 9. Ohuhu alcohol markers or Cali Art alcohol markers? So, it's definitely my answer I'll give you first is Ohuhu, but let me explain why. I purchased the Cali Art markers a while ago, and I had a really bad experience with them. I bought a pretty big set. I can't remember how big it was now, but the ends of the nibs were like frayed. The ink was really splotchy, almost as if, honest to God, like almost as if they had mixed water or something in with the ink. It was really weird how the ink was reacting. Bought them on Amazon. They weren't expensive by any means. I mean, it was pretty cheap, but you couldn't return them. So I had these markers that I couldn't use and I wanted to return, and rarely do you come across something you can't return on Amazon. So I was really salty about that. They were not good condition at all. Like some of my chisel nibs were really frayed and then I couldn't return them. So yeah, I got really upset about that. And that's why I pick Ohuhu. Ohuhu, I haven't had a bad experience with. They're great markers, great price. If there's ever an issue, whether you bought through the manufacturer or Amazon, you can return them. So it's not like you're screwed over paying for a marker. And then they keep coming out with new ones. So yeah, definitely Ohuhu. I have thought about repurchasing Cali Art because I know quite a few people use them. But honestly, after that experience, I'm really hesitant, whether they're 40 bucks or whatever they are. I'm hesitant about trying them again because that last batch I got was so awful and I couldn't return it. And I was really upset about that. Like, it was one of those random third-party instances, which brings me to a totally off-topic point, but one that I need to point out. When you buy on Amazon, always check and see who the seller is. It may be distributed by Amazon, it may not, but check who the seller is, because then that seller actually is allowed to have their own return policy. So if you click on their name, you can see their return policy, and that's what happened. This was one that didn't take returns on their products. So I may purchase Cali Art when Amazon is the seller, or it's not that same seller. I'd have to look up and see what seller that even was. It's in my order history, but I have thought about trying them again, but honestly, after using Ohuhu, I'm really impressed with those. And the few Copics I have, I like those so much that I don't think I'm even going to waste my time and money trying Cali Art again. So, end of that rant. Totally Ohuhu for that one. Alright, number 10. Color by number white backgrounds or black backgrounds. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of color by number. We already went over that. However, with the color by number mandalas and pattern type books that I've done, I've really enjoyed the black backgrounds. I just feel it makes them pop out more, whether you use marker or pencil. So totally I would go with the black backgrounds. All right, number 11, white Posca pen or white gel pen. This was one that took me a while because I use both and love both. So if I had to choose, honestly, it would probably be my Posca. A lot of white gel pens are temperamental. Like sometimes I have to spray it with my work with a fixative to get the gel pen to work. And even Arteza, which is really good at going right on top of a wax-based pencil, sometimes craps out on me. So my Posca never fails. I can go straight over this, no fixative, nothing. And the Posca is also a little more versatile. Like I can, you know, use it to create snow, and I just feel like it has a lot more opportunities than my gel pen because I'm kind of limited to that gel pen size, and I can't like press on the paper and let a bunch of white paint come out and then smooth it around to make a cloud or a snow effect. So yeah, I would definitely say Posca. All right, number 12, morning coloring or night coloring. This was hard because it's more like I wanted to do a both coloring. On the weekends, I always sit down with like a cup of coffee and I color in the morning with coffee, and I wish I could do that during the week, but that's a lot harder because, you know, I have work and kids to school. And then I always color every night, like late afternoon, evening, into the night, I'm always coloring. But sometimes my brain is too tired to really focus, so I usually end up coloring things that are mindless or don't make me think. So definitely not portraits or anything intricate. Like this stonework I started last night at like 9 o'clock. So that's an example of what I would be coloring at night, is very simple, like something I can zone out and color while the TV's on type of thing. But yeah, I guess I would have to say I prefer morning. I just don't get to do it that much, so it's kind of sucky. I would love to sit there with a cup of coffee. Like this spring or summer, I can't wait to just like go out on the back patio with a cup of coffee, a coloring book, and just, you know, color and enjoy the fresh air. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. Number 13, Jade Summer Chibi Girls or April Amber Chibi Girls. So I have to admit, I'm not a chibi art fan. That Cute Witches from Jade Summer book was one of the first where I kind of sort of dabbled in the chibi art, and it's not really even a chibi art book, but it's closer to them. And that's the only one I have. So for that question, I can't really answer it because I haven't really myself gotten into any of the chibi art books. It's just not my style of coloring. So I guess if I had to choose, I would say Jade Summer. I looked both artists up to see their styles, and I was leaning more towards the Jade Summer ones. Okay. So, number 14, Alan Robert or Emily Lydhall Oberg. Wow, I'm pretty sure I screwed both of those up. So I didn't even know who they were first. But after looking them up, I go with Alan Robert. But yeah, I didn't honestly know who that was at first. So that was almost hard to pick because I was like, who? All right, number 15, having double images in a book or just one copy of each illustration. That is a really good question, actually. I enjoy the books that double up on images. I don't enjoy when they mislead you with their marketing and say 60 pages, but it's really 30 times 2. So if they're up front and they say, you know, 30 images times 2, totally good with me. I just don't want to like get a book and go, wait, this said 60 images and it's actually 30. Like, so Hannah Lynn, almost all of her books, not all, almost all, do the double images. And in some of her books, like one image is more basic while the other is more detailed. In another one of her books, one's more zoomed in while the other one's zoomed out. And then in some, it's literally just two copies of the same picture. And I like that because one I could do with marker, one I could do with pencil, one I could do as a color along, like following another colorist and kind of catching on to their coloring style. And then the other one I can still do in my own style. So I actually enjoy it. I wouldn't mind if more artists did that. I know it would increase the cost of publishing and that, you know, their books, but I don't mind it at all, even if it was just like a little collection. So like even Hannah Carlson, if she came out with like a little collector's book but had two copies of each, that would be pretty fun. So I don't mind it. In the Jade Summer ones, it gets kind of frustrating sometimes because it's literally the same image. So I'm extra cautious when I buy those. I want to make sure it's one that I could do with markers and then, you know, follow up with pencil on the next one. If the pages aren't cute enough to like be motivating enough to color twice, then I probably won't buy it. Let's see. So number 16, Johanna Basford or Kirby Roseanne's. That one was really easy for me. It's Johanna Basford. I really love Kirby Roseanne's art. I buy his books, but I almost buy them just to collect them. Because in all honesty, I have yet to color a single Kirby Roseanne's page. I only have 3 of his books right now. I did pre-order Fragile Worlds, and I don't know why, because I'm like, it's just going to collect dust. It will all be in my video. I'm making a video of my books of shame, the ones that are just not colored in. But yeah, I do like his art. It's very intricate and, you know, all the little hide and seek fun things. It's really cool. I have a hard time diving in because they're intimidating for me. Plus, like, I'll have a color scheme, but then, like, you know, the little hide and seek items that don't really match the theme but are in there, like a telephone and an ocean scene. I'm like, well, how do I color this and make this work? So some things like that I just, you know, kind of turn me off. Whereas Johanna Basford, I really like hers because all her hide and seek things still fit in the page, so it's not some random like playing card in your scene. But also I really just love her artwork style, and it's always fun, and she's one of my favorite artists, so definitely Johanna Basford on those ones. Pastel, or number 17 is pastel backgrounds or acrylic paint backgrounds. So definitely pastel. Well, I'll be honest, I've never done an acrylic paint one, but that's because I have zero desire. I like pastels. I like how they move on the paper. So definitely pastels all the way. Okay, number 18, Hannah Lynn or Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Well, I'm coloring in Hannah Lynn. I would honestly pick Hannah Lynn. I do have one book from Jasmine Beckett Griffith. I always get her name wrong. Her Halloween one, and I do want to buy her other ones because they are super cute, and her books actually come on really nice paper, whereas these ones not so much. So that said, I have almost all of Hannah Lynn's books, and I really love her images and how cute they are. So yeah, it would definitely be Hannah Lynn. Number 19, Amazon or Etsy. Oh, if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said Amazon because that was the only place I really went. But now I'm more like on Etsy. You know, especially because some of my favorite artists now only sell on Etsy. They stopped using Amazon, like Clara Markova. You can't get her books on Amazon anymore. And then I started to discover like all these other artists like Mariola Budek. I had never known about her until last year. And so yeah, I started to discover all these artists on Etsy, and I really like that you can just buy a single page or a book depending on the artist, you know, or like sometimes they sell collections together and like they'll have them on sale. So it's kind of fun. Like, and some even have like just special pages they release for limited time. So I'm definitely going to have to say Etsy now. There's just so many awesome artists out there with pictures that are great, and I can print them on the paper I like, so I'm not stuck with a paper the publisher has. So definitely Etsy now. Number 20, glitter gel pens or stickles. This was hard because I just got stickles last year, and I really am digging stickles. They're very fun to do. But if you're going to make me choose, it'll be my glitter gel pens, because anyone who's watched my channel long enough knows I do every mandala in a glitter gel pen. I journal every morning in glitter gel pens. So yeah, can't really abandon my gel pens. Number 21, hardback or soft cover. I prefer the hardback just because the book lasts longer, doesn't get beaten up as much, and also it seems to be easier to keep open. So I would definitely go with the hardback. Plus it just feels more like a collector's item. I don't know. But some of the softbacks I like Johanna Basford, I'm happy hers are hardback because you can actually color the cover of it, and she makes it that way on purpose. But others, like Hannah Lynn ones, you know, the cover isn't meant to be colored, and I find her paperbacks kind of a pain in the butt, and so I've started tearing them apart. But for the most part, I would say hardcover. Okay, number 22, simple pages or intricate pages. This was one of those other ones I really had to stop and think, because it's all about the mood I'm in. For the most part, I like to do simple pages just because I get so busy, you know, and my mood can change so rapidly, so I don't want to commit to a really intricate page and then get overwhelmed, because they tend to be whips that are never finished type of thing. But then again, there are those days I'm in the mood to tackle a very intricate, you know, page. So I just decided for this one to answer with, you know, like what I do 99% of the time. I would say simple pages. I do want to start getting more into those intricate pages and, you know, kind of like not fear them as much though. So that could change if you were to ask me this question at the end of the year. Okay, last question. Christmas pages or Halloween pages? You know, after this Christmas, I will be honest, I was pretty burnt out on Christmas. But when it comes to Halloween, I'm more for the fall pages. So like if it's all the gory, like, you know, ghosts and goblins and stuff like that, I'm not really into that part of the Halloween coloring. I'm more into the fall, so the pumpkins, the leaves, you know, candies for trick-or-treating, you know, evil fairies and witches, stuff like that, but nothing like creepy and gross. So I would have to still say Halloween, even, you know, just because I like the season more. Fall is my favorite. And Christmas pages, I just feel I burn out on the Christmas trees and the winter scenes and snow and all the Christmas colors a lot faster. Or you have more variety with Halloween colors, you know. There's not as many rules. I know most people think orange and black and purple, but you can totally do other things and get away with it. So I'd definitely say Halloween. I think someone has a tag for like Halloween all year long, and someone else has a tag for Christmas all year long. Can't remember who it is. But that is all 23 questions. And look how far I got with my bricks answering those. It's a nice distraction to do like one of these whips while answering these questions, because then it just distracts you from the monotonous process. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to Michaela Renee for this cute tag, and Kirsty for tagging me. I think for this one, I've been trying to scour through and see who's already been tagged, and I hope I'm up to date on who hasn't. But I think for this one, I'm going to tag Rosy Crafted Colors, and then I think I'll also tag Lavella's Coloring to do this. I'd love to see their answers on this one, but this was a hard one. I was tagged like over a week ago and I had to sit and think about it really hard because, and then of course, you know, I always have to like rant on my answers and back, you know, kind of give some background, but I've noticed most of us do that anyway, so I'm not the only one. And I think we almost have to explain our answers because it's just kind of one of those things where you're like, yeah, I picked this, but this is why. I want you to really understand why. So I can't wait to see their answers, and then also anyone else who is participating in this, I can't wait to see your answers. It's been fun, the few I've seen already, just how we are either the same or different. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care.